their rookie season. That is crazy. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer and dysfunction. Bryce Young got Frank Reich fired. Caleb Williams got Matt Eberflus fired. And Cam Ward obviously was associated with Brian Callahan being fired. It does underscore the poison chalice that is getting that guy. But I also think that, so you have a coach and you know you're going to have the number one pick in the draft. And the Bears got it in an unusual way with Caleb Williams because they had that trade with Carolina. And, okay. I wonder if maybe one of the problems for some of these NFL teams is if you, through incompetence or a great trade or whatever it is, if you get the top pick in the draft and you then draft a quarterback, which people tend to do, maybe the most important thing is pairing that guy with the right head coach. And I don't even mean a good head coach, although these guys certainly have not covered themselves in glory in their times with these teams. I just mean, even if you have a head coach that you think is good enough, and they thought Eberflus was good enough, they're like, okay, they've got to be the exact right fit for that talent. Because you only get so many chances with these young guys before you ruin their confidence. Maybe the Bears were able to figure it out because they got Ben Johnson this year for Caleb, but you run the risk of destroying this really valuable asset. I mean, is anyone going to tell me that even before they started whatever they are, 1-5? 1-5? Titans 1-5? Callahan was like the guy that was going to make sure Cam Ward was successful? Of course not. Of course not. Urban Meyer was the guy that was going to make Trevor Lawrence successful? The guy hadn't been an NFL coach. I think in a lot of ways, if you go back to that example in Jacksonville, they thought, okay, Trevor's so talented, it won't matter, and we can just take advantage of Urban being available. We don't have to worry about his development. That's just, you're thinking backwards. So, yeah, it's not, the takeaway here for me, Ryan, it's not easy to succeed in the NFL at the quarterback position, even despite, maybe because of the massive expectations that come with being the or one of the heralded quarterbacks in a draft. You've got to surround them with the right person. I'm sure it's equally difficult to evaluate what coach is going to be capable of helping a quarterback transition to the National Football League, but that needs to be the priority if you have the benefit of drafting the next franchise quarterback.
And also highlights the thinking of you can't draft a quarterback expecting them to be your savior because, like you just said, I'm sure they thought, okay, Cam Ward's going to make Brian Callahan look good. Caleb Williams is going to make Matt Eberflus. If you're drafting a quarterback to make your head coach better than he has been already, you're going to end up like all those coaches, fired immediately, and you're going to put your rookie quarterback behind the eight ball. He's going to already have now 2 new systems in the span of a few months. He has to learn.
One of the things I think Sean McDermott doesn't get enough credit for? Remember how well the Buffalo Bills managed Josh Allen's sort of entry into the NFL? They took pressure off him because he obviously the guy's got a live arm. But if it's easy to forget, especially before Stephon Diggs came into the picture when he came over from Minnesota, that Allen looked lost. He looked like a talented guy that maybe wasn't going to make it. And they said all of the right things. And I'm trying to remember this. I'm trying to Google it. It's not coming up. I think that McDermott was in his second year as a head coach when Josh Allen came in, when they drafted Josh Allen. Remember, Josh Allen came from a small school in college. He didn't have the same level of competition. The talent was obvious. I don't give. I'm giving him now. Sean McDermott should get so much credit for just helping Josh Allen to grow as a quarterback the right way. It's so critical. Fun show today. Great show. Weird turn on Pete hating cats, but it happens. Thank you to Tom Fernelli. Thank you to Ryan Hickey. Thank you, Peter Schwartz. Thank you for listening wherever you are. I'm Bill Ryder. We appreciate you. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Ryder Than You.
check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Hey Pirate fans, get ready to keep the celebration going after ECU takes on Tulsa. Join us for our next Free Boot Friday in downtown Greenville on October 17th at the 5 Points Plaza starting at 5:30. We'll have a live concert from Lonnie Britton and Morgan Hudson and Company, plus fun for the whole family in the expanded New Look Kids Zone. Cool down with a Sup Crush from Crush Distillery and ice cold beer from Carolina Eagle Distributing. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend. Music, fun, and pirate pride, all in the heart of downtown Greenville. Free Boot Friday, October 17th at the 5 Points Plaza.
You would do anything to keep your family safe. Don't leave safety to chance with national companies or do-it-yourself systems. Hi, this is Mike Robertson, the owner of SCI Technologies. We have recently merged with High-Tech Communications to become North Carolina's premier security, audio, and fire alarm provider. The most cost-effective solutions for your home or business security and life safety needs. SCI Technologies, 252-321-7006. That's 321-7006.
Need to sell your house fast without fixing or even cleaning it? Call the Turner Home Team.
Hey, this is proud ECU alumni Justin Turner with the Turner Home Team. We buy houses as is in any condition for cash, and we can close in just days. As a real estate investor and licensed agent, my team and I can give you options when you need to sell. Sell fast or sell for top dollar. You choose what's best.
Call Turner Home Team or visit theturnerhometeam.com. They'll make a no-obligation cash offer for your home today.
Turner Home Team. Pirates supporting pirates.
Your first stop for shopping is at Shimmer Boutique. If you need a gift idea or some shopping therapy for yourself, stop by today because new arrivals are here from all of your favorite brands like Kendra Scott, Yeti, Local Boy, Pimp Shrimp, Simply Southern, and more. Shop now at Shimmer Boutique online and receive free shipping on all orders over $100. And don't forget, Shimmer is home of the popular Pirate Radio camo hoodie and hat collections. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, Jacksonville, and shimmerboutiqueonline.com. Go Pirates!
The very best bagels in Greenville are at Bagel Man. Bagel Man is open every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner until 8 p.m. If you're a person on the go, place your order ahead of time online at ncbagelman.com. Start your day with a breakfast sandwich or dine in for lunch with a tuna melt, pastrami sandwich, panini, or specialty wrap. And everyone loves Bagel Man's fresh-made desserts and pastries. Bagel Man is where Pirate Nation fuels up for game day or any day. Bagel Man, 1904 Fire Tower Road in Greenville.
East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep invites you in to see the great selection of new vehicles at the Drive into Fall event. Save up to $10,000 or get 0% financing for 60 months and up to $5,500 in dealer discounts on the new 2026 Ram 1500. That's $10,000 off or 0% for 5 years and $5,500 off on a new 26 Ram truck. Also, the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee has its best deal yet with up to $10,000 off. Choose your Grand Cherokee and save up to $10,000 if you act now. And how about the 2025 Jeep Gladiator? East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep has the best selection of 2025 Jeep Gladiators in eastern North Carolina. Save up to $9,000 on the hottest midsize pickup in the market.
East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep, across from the Cockerel in Greenville. Come see us!
Offers do not include tax, title, and $8.99 admin fees. See dealer for details. Visit us at ecauto.com.
Pirate Nation, your dream home starts with Unshakable Builders. Now building in Sutherland Estates in Greenville and Dolostone Court in Wilson with homes available now. And stay tuned, Cross Creek Townhomes in Greenville and Whitaker Glen in Farmville are coming soon. Browse available homes, explore floor plans, and see past projects today at unshakablebuilders.com. Have questions? Use live chat, fill out the contact form, or call the office at 814-9105. Unshakable Builders, build on a solid foundation.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sugg, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome into our show, a jam-packed show on this kind of short week. East Carolina's Pirates taking on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane on Thursday. Head coach Blake Harrell joins us for a few minutes to kick off our show, and then Scott Harley will join us. Scott Harley had one of the greatest running back seasons in the history of Pirate football in 1996. He had great games against South Carolina and against North Carolina State, and we're going to relive those moments. And then late in the show today, Brian Meador joins us from East Carolina to kind of talk about the Night of the Boneyard that's coming up. And I know Coach Harrell's excited about that. Coach, how was practice this morning?
It was fabulous. Fabulous. The good thing was a good practice for us. I'm just honored, Brian, to be on Meador and Scott Hartley and all those guys that are Pirate greats.
I'll tell you what, they're two Pirate greats I got on with me today. Let's go back and talk about the Tulane game a little bit. 26-19, the Pirates fall. And what a tale, Dickens wrote, a tale of two cities. What a tale of two halves this one was for Pirate football, because the frustrations of the first half, but the defensive stops that highlighted that first half.
No question. Defensively, I think you got to pat our guys on the back a little bit. They had the offense down there 5 different times and held them to 4 field goals and 12 points, and really gives you a chance to come back and battle back in the second half and keep it within reach. If you let those turn into touchdowns, that thing gets out of hand pretty quick, and you don't have an opportunity in the second half. And then just, hat off to our guys as well of readjusting at halftime, recalibrating, and coaches making adjustments, and going back in the second half. And in third quarter, I think we scored 16 unanswered points there, and really outscored them 19-7. I guess they scored the last touchdown there under a minute, so 19-14 in the last half. But at the end of the day, it's not a moral victory. You got to get off to a better start and play better in the first half. And it's all about little things, not taking negative plays, running the football better, not taking sacks, doing a better job in the punt game, and we're just winning the field position, and that'll give you a better opportunity to create some plays down the field and put yourself in better situations.
Anytime you're in that red zone, obviously you want to come away with 6 and not 3. And you had that penalty on the one drive, and it was a little controversy in that deal, wasn't it?
I just got off the phone this morning with Brian Platt, our head of officials for the American Conference, and at the end of the day, we got to take care of us and do put the ball in the box and put the ball in the end zone. And I think that comes from straining a little harder, doing some different things down the field, and we talked about that all week in practice. But Brian, the new rule in college football is if the ball is snapped during a substitution, it's an automatic foul on the offense. And he did agree, like a year ago, that would have been a mulligan. They would just blown the whistle. Because you still got substitutions taking place. You got their guys are on our side of the ball. You got their guys in our backfield. The officials aren't exactly in the position they should be. But they just felt like that's the new rule. Had to drop a flag there, and me and him both kind of talked through that. And I said, hey, we can't go back and redo it. It's done. It's what's done. I said, but I thought that would have been a good opportunity just to blow it dead and reset it and redo the game clock from that point, and let's go play third down again.
How do those conversations go? Because sometimes, the frustrations mount, and it's not, it's not real cordial, I would think, sometimes.
Well, I think we're all human. And I told Brian that this morning. I said, hey, I got to do a better job coaching, and we all got to pull thumbs. I said, we all make mistakes. I said, I understand officials are going to make mistakes. That's what it is. I said, you guys are having to make a call and a bang-bang play. If I think it might be PI, that DeCerio had on fourth down or Anthony had on play, and, the official may not call it at the time. I get it. It's a judgment call. We got to do our best on both sides of it to be as perfect as we can. But we got to work through those things. And at the end of the day, we can't let one or two plays define the game. We got to play, so well throughout the game that it doesn't come down to one or two plays.
One of the key plays in the game was the, I guess you call it a little squib kick, little pooch kick that the Pirates were able to recover. Obviously, that's, again, one of those things that you see on tape that you think can work. And really, when you look at that, and I think you talked about it yesterday, it's not really that big of a gamble because if you don't get it, they get the ball at the 35.
Right. You're always looking for places you can take advantage of your opponent, whether it be defensively or offensively or even special teams, and create an extra possession or create a big play, whatever it may be. And just thought we saw some green grass there on tape and thought we saw an area of the field that we could take advantage of. And, really good job by our players hustling down the field and, attacking the football, making their guys hesitate for a second, and then Keelan Robinson jumped on it. We actually just went through that exact same scenario from a kickoff return standpoint this morning of how we need to react to it. I think you see Tulane's front line turn and chase, where you actually want your front line to kind of treat it like a sky kick and go attack the kickoff team, hold those guys up so they can't get down the field, and let your backline guys kind of get on it. And we did a good job of fielding that in practice today.
And you know as well as anyone the importance of special teams, and special teams can win a game and lose a game for you.
There's no question. I mean, and those can be frustrating because, you think special teams just be solid. They just get the ball back to the offense or, cover a kick or whatever it may be. But they can certainly win you a game and, certainly lose you a game for sure.
All right, late in the game, Tulane was able to kind of bleed the clock and not leave you a lot of time, and you actually had to do something I think you said you'd never done before. One of the oddities of that situation was that before that drive, I think Tulane was 0 for 7 on third down, and then they were able to put that drive together.
Yeah, dadgummit, they were 0 for 7 on the night. I thought we'd done a really good job and played some pretty good, decent defense, and they put a drive together, and we had a third and medium, a couple third and mediums in there, couldn't get off the field, and Retzloff made some nice throws and converted. I think they ran a wheel right out of the backfield that we didn't get our head turned around and go chest to chest in time, and then ran a little sprint out, moved the pocket, hit the flat route. We got to do a better job matching that in cover 3 there, and all that's on me. And you think you hear the coach from Arizona State yesterday just talking about getting out coach. Well, what he really means is like anything that goes. Any issues within your program is on you as the head coach, and certainly on me as the head coach. I got to do a better job of preparing for those situations and making sure we do exactly what we need to do to win the game. And then, the ball's at the 30-yard line. I think we hit them second down. We hit them for a loss, trying to push it to 3rd and 12. And you know where the kick line is. Like the 30-yard line, you feel like, hey, if he's kicking the ball from the 30-yard line, he's good. He's got the leg. But you also have a chance to, he's in the wind, put some pressure on him, maybe block a kick or create a turnover on 3rd down there. So we knew that was the line that we need to keep him at. So we're being extremely aggressive defensively, and we just had a guy reach out and grab a face mask, and we got to do a better job of grabbing low and grabbing cloth instead of up high, and you're always risking the opportunity to grab a face mask there. So once they get to mark the penalty off, they're down around the 10-yard line. I think there's 1:15 on the clock. You got to make the decision what you're going to do at that point. Tulane in a tie ball game, I think I probably would have pounded the ball inside and made you use your last time out and probably led the clock all the way down, kick a field goal, and walked off with it. We didn't want to, have that happen to us. I think there's only about a 3% chance he misses it or you block it. So we went ahead and let him score, and I think that increases your chances to like 9%. So neither one of them was really good, but I always take the higher percentage, and I'm not always going to go by analytics, also gut feel, but I think that was the right thing to do at the right time. And offensively, we drove back down the field and did give ourselves a chance to make a play in the end zone last play of the game.
Yeah, and that Hail Mary you talked about yesterday was really closer than I think many of us thought.
Yeah, I think during the game, I'm just you're sitting there on the sideline kind of hoping and praying right there, and you see the ball go incomplete, so you kind of your focus and mindset goes to all the other mistakes you made in the game that could have helped you win the game. And, reviewing it the other night and just realized how close it was. Their guys had actually mistimed their jump. It had made it over their hands and was going right into Yannick's hands. And we had Quez Petaway there to play the rebound, so if the ball gets tipped backwards, he's there to play it. Anthony's coming in for the same. Javante Connor and Yannick are the two jumpers. Javante was reaching out, and Yannick had it timed out, and Javante doesn't realize where Yannick is, and just gets a piece of it to knock it away from Yannick. So we actually knocked it away from ourselves. So, and that's not anything on Javante. It just happens to be like we got to get in a little better position there. And it's that close to, being down 1 and trying to make a decision to go for 2. We're tied up at that point.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was that close after I went back and looked at it after what you said. Tulane beats East Carolina 26-19, so now it's on to the Tulsa game, the night of the Boneyard. The guys love the black uniforms. The helmets are going to have a new look, and it's really an exciting night for Pirate football and Pirate Nation.
Yeah, no question. I mean, a little bit more than 48 hours away. We're going to be back in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. And I know we got a little fall break going on this weekend, so the students are at home resting up for Thursday night. And just to be back in Dowdy with our fan base and with Pirate Nation is pretty special. But the night of the Boneyard is always pretty cool. And to wear those black uniforms, I think if our players had the option, they might wear those every game. But they definitely like sporting those. I told them today, and they had the new helmets on today. Said, "Hey, look good. You got to play good now." So we got to make sure we're doing that, and that's the most important piece.
Tulsa comes to town at just 2-4, 0-3 in the conference, and the fact that you have a Thursday night game is hard enough after a Saturday game, but when it's on the road, that makes it that much more difficult, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm glad that this is kind of the last stretch of these Thursday night games. This will be the 4th one of the year, the 3rd one in a row. I'm ready for the days to get back to what days really are. In our office, in our building, today's like a Thursday for a Saturday game. But these Thursday games became such the norm right now. Hey, it's a Tuesday preparing for a Thursday. But, it's a great opportunity for our program to be on national TV again. The ESPN 7:30 primetime game. I think the American Conference said their biggest viewership comes from Thursday nights, which we've been a huge piece of. And, Sports Center will be here on campus on Thursday and showing our university also. Just a great opportunity for our brand and our university to put their name out there for everyone across the country to see.
This is a Golden Hurricane team that likes to run the football, averaging over 150 yards per game. So obviously defensively, that's the first key, stopping that run. Yeah,
I think 21, Dominic Richardson's second in the conference in rushing. He's up there pretty close, and he does a good job with that. Trey Lamb, the head football coach, he was at Gardner-Webb a couple of years ago when they came here in 23. He's from Georgia, from the Southeast, so very familiar with East Carolina and our area. Several players that he took with him from East Tennessee State to Tulsa, so they know the area as well. But Trey's kind of a offense that's going to give you a lot of different looks. Formation year around, FIB, which means formation to the boundary, 3 receivers into the boundary. And he'll try to establish it with the outside zone, but he's going to scheme up some shots down the field, and we certainly got to do a better job of that than we did last week. And defensively, they play mostly a 4-man front, even though the defensive coordinator's background is more of an odd front, even some 3-high safety. This year they've been more 4 down. I think one of their defensive ends leads the conference in sacks. The corner, I think he's got 5 picks on the year, leads the country in interceptions, and they got a linebacker, I think that is their top havoc player, number 0. Who was with Coach Lamb at ETSU as well.
All right, not in the Boneyard. Are you ready for all the students that dress up with the scary-looking outfits and that kind of thing?
Well, that's what somebody told me earlier. I have to just dress up with them and wear a skeleton for first. I don't know if you've seen skeletons as round as I am, so I'm not sure that would be much of a dress up.
I tell you what. All right, Blake Harrell joining us to preview the matchup coming up with the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it when you come on with us a couple of days before game time. East Carolina and Tulsa coming up at 7:30 from Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. The night of the Boneyards, a blackout. So if you're coming to the game, wear some. Have you got your black outfit picked out?
Yeah, somebody asked me, said, "Hey, you usually wear white. What are you going to wear this week?" I said, "I'll be in all black." So we're good. I'm actually getting ready to go down and see equipment manager Steve right now, make sure I'm good to ride and make sure he doesn't have any white. It's all black, and I'm good to fit in.
Give you the Johnny Cash look, right?
That's right.
Here you go, the man in black. All right, Coach, thanks so much. Good luck on Thursday night.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
All right, that's head coach Blake Harrell. Coming up next, Scott Harley, who had that great season in 1996. He is the 10th leading rusher in East Carolina Pirate history, and he's got 2 of the best rushing performances in East Carolina school history. Later, Brian Meador joins us to talk about the night of the Boneyard. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
Want to make your day better? You can now order 2 large original crust, 1-topping pizzas from Papa John's for only $9.99 each. Take advantage of this awesome carry-out special now by logging on to papajohns.com and make today a pizza day for only $9.99 each. Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards and start earning points for your favorite menu items. Go Pirates! Greenville Utilities customers should be proud to know their electric, natural gas, water, and wastewater utilities are owned by the community. That means decisions are made locally, not in some other city or state. It means the utilities are run in the best interest of the community, not to make profits for out-of-state shareholders. It means reliability is high while rates remain low. Greenville Utilities, safely providing reliable utility solutions for the Greenville region since 1905.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
And may I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Bond. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
In a world full of uncertainty, there's one team you can count on, the North Carolina Protection Group. Their licensed specialists bring unmatched training, integrity, and over a century of combined experience in personal protection. From executives and celebrities to families and vital assets, we provide world-class security, 24-hour video monitoring, and on-site guards. Anywhere, anytime. Don't wait. Call the North Carolina Protection Group today at 919-886-6274.
This is Josh Moylan, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Tuesday. Scott Harley joins us now, the 10th leading rusher in East Carolina Pirate history, and he had the greatest rushing season in East Carolina history for sure in 1996. Haven't talked to him in a long time, but Scott Harley, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I tell you, when you look at 1996 and what you were able to accomplish, what are some of the things that first come to your mind that, hey, I did this in 96?
Well, I'm not an individual that wants, individual praise or anything like that. It's all a team effort with me, from my parents to the community I come from in Neptune, New Jersey, and also coming to ECU to Greenville. It's a community effort, so I just can't take all the praise by myself.
Take us back to 96 and give some praise to maybe some of your teammates, some of your offensive linemen and that kind of thing. Who were some of the guys that were just paving the way for Scott Harley?
You had Danny Moore, Shane McPherson, Jamie Gray, Lamont Burns, Ron Sudduff, Larry Shannon, Mitch Galloway, Marcus Crandall, Danny Gonzalez. I think I just named the whole offense.
I think you did too. And it brings back great memories of all of those guys and just the season that you guys were able to have. Let's go through the two biggest games in that season. Obviously, it was the game at South Carolina and the game in Charlotte against North Carolina State. When you think back to September 22nd, 1996, 291 yards against South Carolina. And that day, we learned that Scott Harley was a true mutter, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just coming from New Jersey where the weather's not particularly good at times. Just learning how to run, and I also wear a size 12 shoe, so they help me with my balance. But also with the training with my father and other people in the community, and especially with Coach Connors down here, just learning about keeping my feet centered and not stepping out of my, the realm of, my body, because that's the time when you slip. So just keeping everything based and short and choppy in the rain.
Yeah, in that game, I mean, when did you know that, hey, I'm getting over 200 yards, I'm getting close to 3? How did that flow go?
Nah, I don't think about stuff like that when I play. I just try to go out and keep running north and south and not worry about statistics. Because to me, when you worry about statistics, it's a me thing. It's not a team thing.
All right, so you get 41 carries at the end of the game. Were you tired? Did you feel like you had 41 carries?
No, it's just with the strength and conditioning with Coach Connors and his staff at that time, we emphasize being in the best condition, whether it's, with the food table, running after practice, coming in early. So Coach Connors had everybody in tip-top shape.
When you look at that game itself, obviously East Carolina, an underdog when you play out of South Carolina. But that East Carolina team, and you named some of the guys before, but that East Carolina team had a lot of talent. And I don't think you guys went down to Columbia thinking that you were an underdog, did you?
No, I don't think you go in any game wanting to lose or think somebody has an advantage on you. We could have played Nebraska or anybody like that. We were going to go out and give it our all. I mean, you might have some guys who might have been timid, but it's just football when you get down to the basis of everything.
Had you ever played in a game that was that messy as far as the weather goes? Because if I remember correctly, it was just brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. In high school, I played in a game like that. It wasn't raining to that magnitude, but the field was just muddy. But, I mean, I played in snow, all types of different weather, so just adjusting on the fly. You're never going to play in ideal conditions, whether it's in the summertime hot or even in the fall or even in the dead of winter. So you just got to go play the game. You can't worry about the elements.
And you guys were able to win that game 23-7. It was a school record at the time, 291 yards, 41 carries, 291 yards. And as we said, at the time, it was a school record because that record would fall later in that season. When you left South Carolina and you started preparation for your next game, I mean, how much did you look back and with pride about the record, or did you even think about it? Because knowing you like I do, I don't think it even came across your mind.
No, I don't look at the records. Even after the season, I still have tapes that I might might look at, but I just, it's something I did, and I just, I'm a team guy. I'm a team player. I don't want the individual statistics. But, sometimes, when my grandkids say, Scott, Dad, can you show us? And I'll show them a little bit, and I say, that's enough, so.
Yeah, you got to show the grandkids for sure. All right, before we go any further, now tell everybody what you're doing now, your family situation. I see your dad from time to time, and what a great guy that he is. And we keep talking about going to breakfast sometime or going to lunch sometime, and we're going to do it one of these days. But talk about your dad a little bit, your parents, and then tell us how your family has grown.
Yeah, my parents, they're the backbone of me. They keep me going. They sacrifice a lot to give me and my brother Jarvis everything that we needed. So I just try to do the utmost. I hit a rough patch in my life, recovered alcoholic. So, but my parents, they helped me out tremendously, taking their advice, listening to them, listening to their guidance. But if I could have a different set of parents, I wouldn't even think about it. So my parents definitely helped me out a lot. And my older brother Jarvis, taking me underneath his wing when he would go out to play basketball and football. And I got roughed up a lot, but that's where I get my toughness from.
Well, that's really it takes a lot of courage to come out with something like that, and I know you've probably been through a whole lot, but I know that when you come out on the other side, it means a whole lot, doesn't it?
Oh, it means a whole lot. I got to tell Tony Collins, a former Pirate, he helped me. Alan Thomas, a lot of good people. I can't name them all because we'll be here forever, but. If you see somebody or hear somebody struggling, don't judge them. Just try to get them some help.
Words well spoken for sure. Scott Harley joining us, the 10th leading rusher in East Carolina Pirate history. Between 95 and 97, he rushed for 2,465 yards, and he put on two of the greatest rushing games in the history of East Carolina Pirate football. We've been talking about the South Carolina game. That was in September of 1996. And that year, as far as 1996 goes, 307 carries, 1,745 yards. East Carolina school records there, 5.7 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns that season. And that was, individual accomplishments or not, that's just a magical season, isn't it?
I think it's a magical season, but, hopefully I got the numbers to hopefully get me in the Hall of Fame one day. That's the next task. If I get that, then I'm happy.
Yeah, and, here's my thinking on the Hall of Fame. It's a situation where I don't know if East Carolina has all the people involved to go and look at the past. There's things change so quickly with administration and with things like that I think it's really difficult. Leonard Henry, I think, should be in the Hall of Fame. Scott Harley should be in the Hall of Fame. There's no question about that in my mind. But I don't know, and I don't know how we go about getting some of that stuff done. I know it takes a little bit of effort to go back and research the history, but it's more than just the history books. Anybody can write down the stats and talk about your great seasons and the 2,465 yards. But to live that, and I was very fortunate enough, in my 40 plus years now, to live some of these things and to be at South Carolina and to watch you run in the mud and to know that guy should be in the Hall of Fame someday. So I think that, hopefully, and keep thinking about it, and I think it'll come at some point. It's just one of those situations that I think it's a tough nut to crack sometimes. I think Leonard will tell you the same thing. I mean, I think last I checked, he was the third leading rusher, and he had just a fabulous career as well. But from what you did in 1996, I would think that would put you in the Hall. But you just got to keep your head up and keep working, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my football career is over. I'm in the second phase of my life. Like I said, I take the aspects of football and bring it into my work environment. So, that's not up to me. That's up to the people. But long as people know what I did, and when they see me, they say, oh, or when they see my license, if I'm out and about, and they'll say, did you play football? I say, yes. And they say, well, you played at ECU, right? I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, okay, thank you, but I'm not that rah-rah, oh, I did this and that type of person. You know me for a long time. I've never been one to say, I did this, I did that. It's a team effort, because without my teammates, I couldn't accomplish the stuff that I did.
I agree. And that team, that team was loaded with people that had great talent, put up great numbers, but they weren't the rah-rah people either. I mean, you think about a guy like Gonzalez at quarterback, and he waited for his turn, and then he got his turn, and he took advantage of it. You think of Larry Shannon. You name some of the other guys that just outstanding players, outstanding people, but they weren't really rah-rah people, were they?
No, definitely not. I think we had that lunchbox mentality. We're going to pack our lunch, have something to drink. We're going to go wherever we have to go play, and we're just going to go give it our all. Hopefully we come out on top, and if we don't, we just go back to the drawing board next week and look at tape and see where we have to go. But some of the guys are some of my great friends that I've met. We're still in contact. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of teammates, who went on to be up in the sky, but, that's just life.
Yeah, I agree. And the older you get, it happens like that, because we've had some from my high school class, and I didn't get a chance to play college football, but played high school football. And, those guys and those friendships and those relationships, they last a lifetime. And they really do. And I know, on the college level, it's that much more advanced. Now, tell everybody what kind of career that you have right now and that kind of thing.
Right now I'm working at a company in Pine Tops, North Carolina, which is about 25 miles from Greenville, ABB. I'm an electrician. So like I said, I'm just in the second, third phase of my life. I'll be 50 in April. So time waits for no man.
Yeah, I was telling somebody that the other day, because I was doing research on Scott Harley, and I knew the basics, obviously. And I said, I think of these guys all you guys as still in your 20s, maybe in your early 30s, but then you do the math on the deal, and if you go back to 1996 and you were about 20 when you were playing football and you add 30 to it, that puts you right at 50, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm 49 and got married. I'm married, have 4 kids, 4 grandkids, so life is great.
Wow, 4 kids and 4 grandkids, man. That's getting it done now. I've got 2 grandchildren, and there's nothing like a grandchild, right? Because you can send them on their way, can't you?
Oh, pretty much, yes. They come over for a little while, and they go back home.
That's exactly right. Scott Harley joining us, the 10th leading rusher in East Carolina history, as we've said. We've talked about one of his big games in 1996. Let's move now to November the 30th, 1996 in Charlotte. It was then called Erickson Stadium. Going into that game, Scott, did you have the game plan knowing you were going to get 30-plus carries in the game?
No, I didn't. Actually, in the warm-ups, I couldn't do anything right. Like, I couldn't catch the ball. I was fumbling.
Really?
And then, just had a conversation with my father and my mother before the game, and they just said, just do what you know what to do. And, the rest is just history. Like, I had no desire to go out there and run for them yards. I just ran north and south and just ran to what my teammates gave me on offense, defense, and special teams. So, like I said, it's a collective effort. Without my teammates doing what they had to do, I couldn't get the chance to shine. And I know sometimes I got all the publicity, but I also wanted my teammates to get it. So I was, always, said, this is my teammate, or I pull one of the guys and say, hey, you might want to talk to him.
And that's very well said again. I mean, it's a team game. We talk so much on this show about the fact that football, the magic of football is that 11 players have to be on the same page. If one player blows an assignment, the whole play can just be blown up completely. And that's exactly right. You got to have 11 on the same page. The first touchdown of the day against North Carolina State in Charlotte, as we said, Erickson Stadium, a 75-yard run by Scott Harley. Do you remember that run and what happened on that play?
Well, I remember my father telling me the cutback is there, so it's hard for a person if you're running at them and you're going across them for them to stop on the dime. So that first play was a sweep toss, and I went downhill behind Scott Richardson and the hole open wide, and the defensive back was coming so fast that when I made my cut, he couldn't stop. So when he tried to stop, he slid, so I just jumped over him. And Lamont Chappelle gave a great block and, just went around his block. Luckily, unfortunately, the guy hit me a little bit, knocked me off balance, but I just kept running. And, once I crossed the goal line, hearing the roar of the crowd, but I still didn't know what happened. I'm still everything is in the fog to me because I'm like, what's going on? So they're like, you scored. I'm like, oh, okay. So it is what it is.
That's a great story. And you mentioned a couple of more great Pirates. Lamont Chappell was an excellent wide receiver. And Scott Richardson, was he from the Jersey area when he came?
Scott Richardson was from South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
But he was a quarterback in high school, wasn't he?
I want to say he was. We had a lot of guys that were at different positions, but when they got to ECU, either they bulked up or skinny down.
Yeah.
They were at various positions.
He certainly bulked up, and he was one of the great tight ends in East Carolina Pirate history. And as you said, threw a good block on that play. So
I want to make a correction. I don't know if it was Scott Richardson or it was Scott, but I can't remember his last name offhand. It might be Richardson.
That sounds familiar. That really does sound. I'll look it up. But that sounded familiar when you said that. So in that game, 50-29 was the final. East Carolina knocks off NC State. You finished the game 42 carries, 351 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And as you said, I don't keep up with stats during the game, but at what point in that game did you know, hey, despite the way I warmed up, I had a pretty good afternoon?
I didn't know. You know what I mean? Even if people were telling me, I was so oblivious because from past references, past games, my father and my mother always told me, do not get a big head. People in the community, even the people in Greenville, do not get a big head because it could implode at any time. So I was just locked in, like, I guess before the term locked in, I just guess zoned out, actually.
Do you remember Larry Shannon when he scored a touchdown and he pulled the flag out of his pants and went running around waving it?
That was one of the greatest moments. Unfortunately, we got flagged for it. In today's game, that is just so small and minute with the kids dancing and doing all these gestures now. So all that stuff these kids do now, I think we paved the way for them to be able to do it. So
that was one of the great moments in Pirate history. And I looked over and I said, "Uh-oh, there it goes." But it was such a big win against a rival, and you feel the whole thing that the North Carolina states of the world. Anytime East Carolina can get a chance to beat the Wolfpack, they certainly want to take advantage of it. And that proved to be a big one for the Pirates, 50-29. That final to conclude that 96 regular season. When you finished up and you're in the locker room area or you're in the interview area, do you remember reporters asking you questions about the amount of yards you had, the school record, and do you remember anything about that part?
Yeah, I do remember it. Right after the game, it's just like it's a circle of reporters, and it's like a lot of them, and I'm looking like, what's going on? And I think it might have been you. You said, you rushed for what? And I'm like, I did what?
Yeah.
So it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I think about it now, after the fact, but at that time it wasn't on my mind like, okay, you got this amount of yards or this, and this. It was just playing football. It was just the purest form of football. Simple and playing football, but very exciting.
And, things have changed so much. Scott Harley today, with those kind of stats, would rake it in NIL money somewhere, whether East Carolina could come up with it or whether you'd have to transfer. And talking to some of the guys through the years, like the Marcus Crandalls of the world and David Garrards, and you ask those guys about NIL, and they almost to a man say, I'm glad we didn't really have it because I might have been tempted to leave, but I really wanted to stay with my teammates and I love my school. And so it's really different when you look back at it as to what we have now.
Well, to me, I think I have only a couple of regrets in life, and one of my big regrets is leaving ECU a year early. That it bothers me to the core daily. But I tried to go play professional ball. It worked out somewhat, but then again, I felt like I abandoned my teammates. So I will admit today I did make a mistake by leaving early, and I'm sorry to anybody that it affected.
Well, I tell you what, it takes a big man to admit a mistake. And I remember when that was going on, and a lot of us were like, oh, man, because we really, selfishly, and this is selfishly for me, I wanted to watch Scott Harley run the football again in the purple and gold. And I think a lot of Pirate fans were probably like that as well. But as they say in life, you only go around once, and you've got to do, it's a balancing act of what you have to look out for, number one, but you also have to, look back, and you don't want to have any regrets. And I think that admitting that was a mistake, as I said, takes a big man for sure.
Oh no, I have no problem. Like I said, at this phase of life, I have no problem admitting my mistakes or admitting my faults. Like I have no problem admitting I was an alcoholic. Actually, on 10/21, it'll be 3 years for me, so I'm good.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the 4 children. Congratulations on the 4 grandchildren. I mean, I just can't think of Scott Harley as a grandfather. That makes your dad a great-grandfather. How's he like that role?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
I bet.
He's the original Pop-Pop.
The original Pop-Pop. I like that. Well, he's a great man. I get a chance every once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll be out walking. He'll be driving somewhere, and he'll stop and talk to me for a few minutes. And we think back to your fabulous career from 1995 to 1997. Again, 2,465 yards. Scott Harley, the 10th leading rusher in East Carolina Pirate football history. Scott, before we let you go, anything you want to tell Pirate Nation?
Just say, you guys come out Thursday, support the team through ups and downs. Let's just make Dowdy Ficklin. Let's make a lot of noise. Support these guys, the whole staff, everybody. Let's paint it black.
Yeah, we're going to paint it black. We've got the big night of the Boneyard coming up, and we've got Brian Meador, my good friend, is going to join us, and we're going to talk about the night of the Boneyard. Scott, thanks so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Scott Harley. Let's take a break. Back with more on this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on this Tuesday after this.
For pest control that packs a punch, BAM! Call on the experts at BAM Pest Control. Attention Greenville, BAM Pest Control is here to protect what matters most, whether it's your business, your home, or your peace of mind. They don't just eliminate pests, they knock them out. BAM Pest Control is #1 in insect control, rodent control, and yard services like fire ants and mosquitoes. BAM! You're insect-free, safe, and comfortable. Call the experts at BAM Pest Control on Hooker Road in Greenville, 252-751-3160. BAM!
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates!
Here with Brian Cook, the comptroller for Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World. Brian, talk about your service that you have at Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World.
Yeah, we've got a great group of technicians that work on all makes and models of vehicles. We're here to check out your car, give you some advice, fix the things that are needed, and maybe get you on the right path to taking care of it down the road.
One website, 2 outstanding dealerships, finding the car you're looking for. Greenville Motor Company, Greenville Auto World. Try us, trust us at driveherenow.com.
We filled the trucks so you'll save big bucks during the Lazy Boy truckload sale at Bostic Sugg Furniture. Look for the Lazy Boy truck in our parking lot. It's filled with Lazy Boy furniture at huge savings. Take advantage of big rig discounts of up to 50% off Lazy Boy recliners and motion sofas, Lazy Boy stationary furniture, leather, sectionals, and chairs. But quantities are limited. There's no reorders, no rain checks. So roll in before these savings roll out during the Lazy Boy truckload sale at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Big news from the Rick House. The Rick House has a brand new menu that you're absolutely going to love. New on the menu are creamy garlic parm chicken pasta, crab cakes, and our new porterhouse, half filet, half strip, tender and juicy, and grilled to perfection. The Rick House is the area's bourbon authority, featuring Willet, Jefferson Tropics, and the Frank Sinatra Select by Jack Daniels. The new menu features new, lower prices and $4 drafts all summer long. The Rick House, Red Bank Road in Greenville.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show on this Tuesday. As we continue on, the Night of the Boneyard coming up. Brian Meador from East Carolina joins us now. He's got his black ready to go. Coach Harrell said he's got his black ready to go coming up, but it's a big night for East Carolina, isn't it?
It is, and it takes me back to our first night that we did the blackout, if you want to call it that. It was 2013. It was a Thursday night. We were going to play FAU. And I don't know if you remember the unveiling that we did. I put a GoPro in the team room. They didn't know. They didn't know we were going to be unveiling the black uniforms. There were whispers, but nobody knew. We had Justin Hardy out in the hall, and he comes running in, and the team reaction is what we put out there. We didn't show the actual uniform. And I don't know if you remember this or not. Mark Yellock is standing out in the hall, and he sees Justin around the corner wearing the black uniform, and he snaps a picture of him and tweets it out. And it was supposed to be this big secret, and he sends it out almost immediately. And so we had to take it down. Anyway, it was funny, and then we beat FAU on that Thursday night, and I mean, it's a really cool event. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. We should have been ahead of the curve on the black stuff a long time ago, just because of the Jolly Roger.
Yeah, that and the fact that the black goes with purple so well.
It does. It pops.
Yeah, it just
you said
pops.
that on the TV show that's not on TV anymore. You said that the purple pops.
The TV style show. That's what I call it now. But yeah, it's available on YouTube on the ECU Athletics page.
That's right.
Please check that out coming up. The new one comes out pretty soon, right?
I already put it out earlier.
Right,
yeah,
it's already out.
And
so
it's
you
good.
can check it out.
Really nice piece that Jared Jared Osmick did with the unveiling of that uniform was he really did a fantastic job. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. And I think it was Sam Danka. He was unveiling the black uniform, and you've seen pictures of it, I'm sure, with the white pirate script and all that. But it really looks good, and they did a fantastic job on the creative side with that.
All right, going back to the Scott Harley interview, and before I even say that, there are two people in this world that if I make a mistake, they're quick to correct me. One is my lovely wife, Melissa, and the other is Brian Meador.
Favorite person in the world, me.
And if I really screw up, they'll just do it together. I'm surprised Melissa hadn't called, but I don't think she remembers. We were close with Scott Richardson. It was Scott Richards. He wore number 90. He was a former quarterback that played tight end on that 96 team. And his teammate was Sean Richardson, who wore number 86. And you could tell from what Scott Harley was saying, he was confusing the two.
Yeah.
I was confusing the two, but we had you come to our rescue. So.
Well, I had class. I'm surprised you don't remember Scott. He interned with us.
Yeah, I did. I just didn't remember whether it was Richards or Richardson.
Well, he was like most. He wasn't like the Leonard Henrys of the world where he just kind of showed up here or there. Scott he actually worked and went out with me a few times.
He did a nice job. But there you go, Scott Richards and Sean Richardson. And those of you that followed Pirate football back in the 90s, remember that they were both two very good tight ends.
Really good, yeah. And then one of the reasons why Harley was able to pop some of those runs, those guys could block.
Those runs, that 96 season and those two games against South Carolina and NC State were just, when you watch something like that, and as human nature is that I can't wait till next year to see him do it again. He didn't. But you're always thinking like, well, I can't wait for the next great running back to come in and do something like that. And they haven't. So, and we've had some great running backs since then, but nobody's been able to do something like that.
I'll take Leonard Henry running over a Tar Heel defensive back any day of the week. Remember he did that? Yeah. Leonard just trucked that. I can't remember the guy he ran over, but in Chapel Hill, he just moved him. And that was fun. We've had some great, obviously Chris Johnson over the years and Rajay, and you go all down the line of the guys we've had that we like working with.
Yeah.
But we've had some really good running backs. But what he did in those two games, what is it, combined 85 or 83, whatever it was, rushes? Who has a 40? Right. Who carries the ball 40 times?
42 and 41. Yeah,
crazy. 83 times in two games. Unbelievable.
Just incredible. And I think he was talking about his goal is to make the ECU Hall of Fame, and as I was saying that it's difficult the further you get out. People,
Leonard found that out.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. So we gotta get. Maybe we need a veterans committee to get on that deal or something like that knows. Like I told Scott, there aren't many of us that were there that day in Columbia, South Carolina, in the pouring rain, watching the mutter go at it, and then being in Charlotte and watching that team just dismantle the Wolfpack that day. And Larry Shannon, when he scored that touchdown and pulled that flag out of his drawers and just started waving it.
Yeah, that was great. Like Scott said, there was a penalty, but who cares?
Yeah.
You're going to hang 50 on the Wolfpack.
Oh, man, they were all excited.
To your point, I think it's not the ECU Football Hall of Fame, and that's where you've got to balance the number of people you can put in. Like this year, we're putting 3 guys in, and they all deserve to be in. With Shane Carden, Justin Hardy, we just talked about, and of course, 17. Dwayne Harris.
Man, 3 outstanding players.
Yeah, and how do you deny any one of those guys? Right. It's really hard to narrow it down, I guess, when you get to that level of you're trimming it down. You're putting 3 guys in, so.
And I would say, too, we talked about maybe a veterans committee, but it would be even harder for some of the other sports. I think it just should
be you and me.
Yeah, I think we can solve the world's problems. I'm telling you.
I'll fly Moussa Body in back from France. Let's put him in there.
Actually, right now you're listening to our retirement plan because we're going to come on here and do a show together, and that'll be our retirement plan down the road.
East Carolina, according to Brian and Brian.
Yeah, well, you got the Richardson straight.
I did.
Down.
I remember those guys. Yeah.
Glad you got that thing figured out. What about the game coming up with Tulsa? How big a game is this for East Carolina football? Because you almost have to win this one to get on the other side of 500.
Yeah, especially when you're coming off a Tulane game that could have been won, and that first half was it was such a weird first half with the punting situation, and then you hold them to field goals, and you got a chance. You come out of the second half, and you get a touchdown. All of a sudden, you got some fire in your belly, and then when Caton took that second one in, I thought, oh boy, here we go. This is going to get fun. And
the long pass was the backbreaker.
Yeah, it was, and whatever happened at the goal line, which I still, if that's a rule change that happened, that still to me is the weirdest. That whole thing was just weird. It's just reset got the thing. Let's do it.
And I heard Blake explain it because he talked to the head of officials with the American, and I still am confused about it. I don't get it. I don't understand
was like,
it.
huh?
Yeah.
You gonna back us up? And then it kind of killed them.
Yeah, Caden thought it was against Tulane, so he was thinking, hey, it's half the distance.
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
We're gonna punch it in with 2 tries to punch it in.
Yeah, didn't work out that way. All right, let's take a commercial break right now. We'll come back and we'll continue on this Tuesday. The Thursday night game coming up, the blackout game. Wear that black. People like wearing black. They don't like wearing gold.
No, the yellow.
Yellow, whatever it is.
No, but the black uniform. This is the game where the Boneyard can look really, really neat, really cool. The whole stadium will look neat. A night game. Yeah.
We'll have more after this.
Shopping season is in full swing at Russell's in downtown Washington. This is Rhonda, and new arrivals are everywhere in the store. We have new sportswear from Peter Millar, Johnny O, Gentile, and Duckhead. The pants, shirts, sweaters, and vests are all on the showroom floor, ready for you. Shop now for a new sports coat from Johnny O, Harshafter Marks, or Duckhead. And ladies, we're fully stocked with new dresses, sweaters, outerwear, and jewelry. Russell's on Main Street in downtown Washington. Go Pirates!
Ahoy, home hunters! Ready to find the real treasure of Eastern North Carolina? At ENC Pirate Realty Allen Tate, our crew of expert agents will help you chart the course to your dream home without any rough waters.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just looking to drop anchor, we've got the map to real estate gold. ENC Pirate Realty Allen Tate, where X marks the spot, and every home is a hidden gem.
Visit encpiraterealty.com.
We close the deal or someone walks the plank.
Rock, call today.
Hey, Pirate fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. A win isn't a win without the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Proudly distributed locally by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
It's bow time. Sure, you've had a sausage biscuit before, but have you had the smoked sausage biscuit from Bojangles? Well, now is your chance. Juicy, slow-cooked smoked sausage is grilled to perfection and served on a fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. No one does breakfast like Bojangles, and this smoked sausage biscuit doesn't disappoint. Right now, you can get 2 for just $5. Start your day with this flavor-packed deal while it lasts. It's bow time.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft, Taft & Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Make things happen this year with the new John Deere. In just one visit to Quality Equipment, you'll find the right lawnmower, compact tractor, or Gator UTV that will save you time and money on your next project. Keep things running all season long with the help of our experienced parts and service team. Your new Deere isn't far away. Find current offers and budget-friendly packages at your local Quality Equipment with 36 locations across North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit QualityEquip.com to get started. That's QualityEquip.com.
Eastern North Carolina, it's your guy, Roger Harris. I train to be the best on the field, but even more, it's about being my best for them. I know my joints won't heal on their own. Arthritis, it's coming, unless I stop it. Prevention beats pain. QC Kinetics use your body's own power to heal, rebuild, and restore. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Don't wait until pain sidelines you from the game of life. QC Kinetics, regenerative medicine, real results. Call now to schedule your free consultation. 252-645-6458.
G'day, this is Luke Larson, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday as we wrap things up. Brian Meador in to talk about the big blackout game coming up, the night of the Boneyard. A couple of big things happening. You got a band getting ready to play Thursday night. What time they start?
Spare Change is going to be at the Plaza.
Spare Change is great, by the way.
Tailgate Plaza. Oh, yeah. They're really good. So that'll be a lot of fun. That's been a nice addition as far as, some music that you got your Treasure Island for the frat party, for the frat and sorority guys and the students. They go over there, and it's a DJ I've never heard of, but they always have it thumping, and they've got it going over there. And then it doesn't cross over because Ward is right there. So then you've got the other bands that are over here that are a little more geared toward your tailgating folks who are over in that lot. And Spare Change they always deliver. So that'll be a lot of fun for those guys.
And you got a couple other bands coming up.
The Embers coming up. I think they're coming up the next home game.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think so. It'll be a good lineup this year for that.
I, for one, am glad we're getting back to Saturday games in November.
Yes.
Because, for whatever reason, we find something to do on Saturdays, which I thought when the schedule came out, I thought, hey, every Saturday is nothing but college football. It hadn't turned out that way.
No.
But that's just a fact of life, I guess.
I know. I heard Luke Larson coming in on the break on that little bumper, the stinger, and I heard his Australian voice. Well, that's too funny. He texted me today to ask me if we were going to be, because they're on a bye up there. He wanted to know if we were going to be at the Temple game because he wanted to go out with us Friday night and have some beers. And I was like, we're not going to be there.
Yeah.
But I love to see Luke again. That guy's a character.
He's a funny guy. Pirates, when you look at November, I think that Temple game is going to be tricky. It's going to be difficult to go to Philadelphia and win that game because it always is. And I think Temple's playing pretty good football.
Yeah. And the thing is, we were looking at the numbers, and you want to get to 6. And I know it's always the next game, coach speak stuff and all that, but you can't help but look down at the schedule coming up, and you circle the ones you got to get. Starting Thursday night, you've got to get this Tulsa game. And once you get that game, you're at 4. Now what do we have to do? You got to be healthy. You got to go up to the Temple, and you got to play them tough. And it's going to be we always struggle up there. Yeah. Just don't wear white, whatever we do.
That's exactly right. And I remember, I think the last time we were up there is when Holton threw a touchdown pass late. Yeah. And really, East Carolina should have lost that
That's
game.
right. And you remember the game where Lincoln scored too quickly?
Yeah.
Because we weren't stopping anybody. And that was the old, do you kill your momentum and your rhythm by slowing it down? No, Lincoln went on and scored, and he came right back down the field. I think we were wearing white in that game. I think the first time we wore white was up there, wasn't it? I can't remember.
So.
I can't remember.
And you wouldn't think Lincoln having clock problems, would you?
No.
As good a coach as he was.
And take a knee and lose? When does that happen?
Never happened. You don't go to a victory formation and lose the game.
Lose the game.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah, it did.
It happened that night.
But it did happen that night against UCF. You're right.
That was a long time ago, but it was. I still remember going live outside the stadium and people were coming up. They were so mad.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people hit me, I think. I mean,
just punt it over Harvey Hall, the Murphy Center. Just punt it.
Yeah, I was trying to get that live sportscast done. What else we got for the night of the Boneyard? I remember I think it was one of the first ones, but remember Jill Jelnick, who's now at 17 in Nashville, Tennessee, as a sports
painted
director.
Themselves up. The
softball team. Girls did. Yeah, they look good.
They had it going.
Yeah,
and we still use that shot of those girls because ESPN was here and they had some beautiful slow-mo shots of them, and all the softball team painted themselves up. I think, was Katie part of that? I can't remember if she was or not, but I know Jill was a ringleader for all of that. And I thought, I was like, no, they get it. They're showing some support. They're getting out here. The students, it's going to be a tough turnout. On a Thursday night, they're not here. So we want to push the students to stay longer in the games, and giving them incentive to stay. So we're kind of coming up with some ideas to try to make that happen moving forward, to make them stay. And I remember as a student, it wasn't leaving the game; it was getting into the game because we were always out tailgating.
Yeah.
And we were always late coming in. And I think at that time the administration was like, "You guys have got to get in there and support us." But this is 91 season, that I remember that I'm thinking of, and every game was packed up there. They were good games, fun games. So that's a lot of it, I guess. I'm rambling now.
Pirates go as a 17-point favorite against Tulsa in the Golden Hurricane. Part of that is the fact that Tulsa had to play Memphis Saturday night, and they have to get on a plane Wednesday to come to Greenville from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, that's a tough week for them.
It is a tough. You've been on that flight.
Yeah,
that's not a fun flight. And I was listening to Blake earlier. I'm thinking, he's coach. You got to take care of the ones you can handle. The next game is Thursday night, but you come out and have a really good showing against Tulsa. I think that'll go a long way moving forward.
You remember what happened in Tulsa when we were there last year?
Which time?
I think it was last year when I was out walking and you were.
Oh, you fell.
Yeah, a tree root.
A root attacked you.
A tree root attacked me.
He rolled down the ditch.
Grabbed my foot. I fell and I came close to falling on that main highway.
Your wife texted me and said we got to wrap Bailey in bubble wrap.
Yeah. Maybe that would have been a good idea. I do think about Tulsa and think about that story. All right, let's get out of here. Let's close it out for this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. I want to thank head coach Blake Harrell for joining us today. Also, Scott Harley, again, one of the great seasons in East Carolina history back in 1996 as a running back. I want to thank my buddy Brian Meador for coming in for a few minutes. We'll see you Thursday night at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium for the big blackout, the night of the Boneyard. That's our show. We'll see you back here next week.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sug, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another